Hello and welcome to Come With Us, a podcast to meet all your fantasy needs. I'm Sussy Nunez.
And I'm Reshea Kelly, and each week we dive into the tempting world of books, seductive romance, and a sprinkle of spice. So, okay, let's get into it. All right.
Yes.
We'll work a little bit backwards. First of all, I would like to point out we are 6:45, 7:45. Yeah. 150 pages from the end and shit's getting crazy. Thanks, Sarah.
Yeah.
Way to stick to
Always her MO, always. Last 150 pages, 110 pages they're going to be insane, and everything important is gonna happen in those little pages. But this is part 4. If we're super honest with you, we totally forgot that this book had 4 parts. We really thought that it was only 3.
It was 3. I really thought it was 3. I'm so sorry.
Here we go. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So we're going to work back from the big reveal monologue that the evil person did, and then we're going to let you know what happened. So Briallyn had this plan. Nesta's got this dread trove. They had been working on ways to keep even Nesta from being able to access them with spells and stuff. That's why Helion was there to help out with that shit too. And Briallyn was pissed because she had the crown, but she did not have the mask or the harp, and she needed all 3. So she devised this plan. She was going to get Nesta, put her in the blood rite, make it super fucking dangerous, right? And then they were going to let slip some information because they knew that the Shadow Singer was clearly keeping tabs on them. They were going to make it obvious. Oh, we're going to make it look like this is happening so that they have to come and they're going to try to save the day or whatever, right? So they devised this whole trap where Briallyn has entranced Eris to make it look like he was working with her because he still had the dagger that Rhys had given him as a solstice gift that Nesta had made, right? And he, so it looked like he was there of his own volition because clearly Briallyn would have taken his weapon from him, but she didn't. He was under her spell, and he then put a knife up to Cassian's ribs, and then it just goes black and switches back and we're like, what the fuck's happening? Basically, Briallyn is able to get Cassian into a trance as well with the crown. And she shows up and she's like, all right, give me the dread trove or your fucking dude dies. I'm killing Cassian. You give me this shit. And so this is all devised by her. The way there's a bit of a plot hole that people like to discuss on Reddit because they say why in the world would the Illyrians have worked with Briallyn? And this is where I think you were right, that they were okay with these women being thrown into the blood rite and their traditional, it's a religious experience for them. This is part of their faith. The blood rite is part of who they are. They were willing to tarnish it, and they were willing to I don't know what the word is, corrupt this thing that is so close to their core beliefs because they were threatened by the fact that a woman could possibly also do it. And how often have we seen this? How often have we seen this in the real world?
God.
They're willing to let slip their morals a little bit in order to maintain power and control. And it's, I hate it. So they went to get Nesta, and they were just like, Bellius was the one that fucking took him. And he was like, oh, perfect opportunity. Let's just throw them all fucking in there. Because he wanted the store that Emerie had been inherited, she had inherited. And he was pissed off at her because she was not, kneeling to him, essentially, or giving him whatever he wanted. So he was like, 2 birds, 1 stone, let's do this. And then I think Gwyn started screaming, so they took her.
Yeah, because Gwyneth was probably relieving trauma right there and there, with the guys taking them and all of that. Oh my God, that probably was horrible for her. But, and then to that trauma, you add the blood rite. Part 4, the blood rite.
Yeah.
Yes. So they're not. The blood rite is something that, as you said, I think is a religious like experience. Is very, after that you either die, and if you survive you are another person just because of the trauma that you lived
Well,
through.
and
uh
I mean, and
what?
where you land or how you finish or where you
Yes.
finish within this blood rite, it determines your whole life. And I
Yeah.
mean, if your whole life centers around preparing for battle and fighting in battle, this is like the step like where they're like, okay, you're done practicing. Let's see if you're ready to be a man now. If it's almost like a rite of passage, it's
Yeah.
very near and dear to their culture.
How long does it last? A week or what was it?
I believe it is 7 days, and
Seven
you're
days.
also not allowed to use any magic or any weapons. Or you're
Yeah.
not given any
You
weapons.
can
You
make,
could make weapons.
yeah, you can make your own weapons.
I would say, yeah, but they don't have like swords and daggers and bows and arrows and stuff usually. They're not
No, not
supposed
at all, not
to.
at all. But what the fuck, right? They have some.
Yeah, I want to say it was Briallyn that did that because she just wanted Nesta fucking dead.
One of the rules of this blood rite, it's the fact that nobody can get in and nobody can get out. That's impossible. So meaning Cassian cannot go and save his mate. And you put something here that I want to talk about so bad. Odd time for Rhys to give a fuck about following the rules. More eye roll. Honestly, yes. Because how is it possible that you can go and do so many things for your woman, but when it comes to other people, or specifically Nesta, you cannot do anything? Like, you are the most powerful High Lord. Illyrians, if I understand correctly, he is like their High Lord, right?
He's their High Lord and he's part Illyrian. Like,
Like, make it make sense.
if it was Feyre in there, he would have moved heaven and earth to get to her.
Dude, the whole time I was reading this book, that's the only thought that I had. If this was Farah, this could have not happened. Every time I was reading this, I was like, oh, I'm so mad.
It's I don't know. It's like he's holding. I don't know. It's like he's just justifying his bad behavior. It's the rules. He just doesn't like Nesta, and it makes me mad. So I'm just like, okay. So he just sends Cass and Azriel off. He's like, oh, Azriel came back and was like, oh, Eris is working with Briallyn. We gotta go. And Rhys is like, yeah, Cassian, you gotta go with him. And Cass is like, why the fuck do I gotta go? The woman I'm in love with, my mate, even though she won't accept it, she's in peril right now, and you're expecting me to just go like handle this shit for you? And he was like, yeah, go.
Yeah.
And because it's his High Lord, he had to. So the three ladies are dropped in this blood rite, not together. They're not all dropped in one spot. They're being dropped like on different, like miles and miles and miles apart from one another in just groups. And so the three
That's
women are separated.
insane.
Yeah. And scary.
And I think it's very important to, yeah, I think it's very important to point out the fact that we're talking about, let's put it in this, maybe it's like easier for you if you haven't read the books or something, or if you don't remember. Remember pirates? They were very despicable. They were rapists? No, rapists. They were rapists. They were very bad men. Morally, Illyrians were the same as pirates. Only three women on the blood right now are separated with all of these men that don't understand a no, that don't give a flying F about how a woman feels. And that honestly, it's so, to me, so terrifying.
When I think about this, it reminds me of like those like Jurassic Park movies or something where, they step in somewhere and then they look down and it's just a bunch of like dinosaurs just sleeping or something, like just
Yeah.
the thing that's going to
Mm-hmm.
kill you is just asleep, and they're just like, okay, I have to get out of this situation because they're the predator, I am the prey.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
it
and
makes
they're
me
completely
sick.
naked. They're
Oh
completely
yeah, they're
naked.
completely naked. The thing that got me, I wrote this, is like, so if you were just dropped into the most important and revered rite of passage, which determines your power and rank that your whole life revolves around. You think you'd be too busy to rape a woman, but apparently they had the fucking time. And I cannot. Like, can you not prioritize?
They were like, okay, so if I can kill a man or I rape a woman, I'll definitely choose raping a woman, because kill a man, why for right now? I just don't understand.
I don't get it. Like, because I feel like logistically, stopping and taking the time to assault a woman puts you at risk of dying. People die in this blood rite. What are you
And
doing? Focus
energetically,
on
though,
surviving.
you're gonna lose so much energy just, by doing the thing. And because she's not gonna
Yeah.
be like, rape me, please. She's gonna be fighting you. And it's like,
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't understand.
And how often is it a dude comes and then he's got to take a nap?
Almost every time. Almost
Almost
every
every time.
time.
You want to get sleepy? No, you don't. You're in the middle of a blood rite.
Yeah. So Illyrian men,
Um,
if they're not Cassian, Asriel, or Rhys, honestly, you guys are shit. Because,
Trash.
oh my god. But remember the magic friendship bracelets? Well, I told you they were going to come back, and they did. So basically, these little things, they, what was it that they glow?
They were just beads. And when the women made them, they made them the same way that Nesta made the swords, except with positive feelings. Right?
So beautiful.
And so then when they're looking for each other, they would glow. I can't, it feels kind of like a beacon, like a homing beacon. So
Hmm.
like if you like turned this way, it would glow brighter if it was towards them, and it
Yeah.
would get brighter as they got closer to them. So so Nesta like realized, oh shit, like this shit's glowing when I turn this direction. So she started walking that way, and then they would glow brighter as they got closer and closer to one another. And that's how they were able to find each other.
Beautiful. Let's talk
I love
about
it.
a sister of the pants, I think. The sister of the pants.
Sisterhood
The
of the
traveling
Traveling
pants.
Pants.
They were everything to me. So let's talk about that moment, because I feel like it was a moment like that. So
Mhm.
pure, so Nesta, if you trust in your circle, if you trust in your foundation, they will be there for you. You will find each
Mhm.
other again. And oh my God, what a message. What a message
I
without being
loved
a
it.
message. I freaking loved it. But
I loved it.
between all of this happening, Nesta kills people. She gets clothes from these people that she just killed.
One of them got really good with the bow and arrow, or they both
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
There was a bow and arrow somewhere involved.
That's so
One of them
funny.
had a bow and arrow. Then another, no, Nesta had the sword. Gwyn had the bow and arrow, I believe.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
I don't
What
remember what
about
Emerie
Emerie?
had.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't know.
Whatever. But yeah, they were fighting. And at
Sorry,
the
you're
end,
not
I
here
think
to hear what the book is for.
if you want to just honestly go and read it, it's right there.
Just, you should go read it. Just go read it.
Honestly, yeah.
Gwyn held her own, if I recall. Gwyn straight up killed the dude that was trying to rape her, right?
Yes. It's honestly, it's traumatizing. Like, I do have to say that these books, I don't remember having trigger warnings. They don't, right?
No, they don't have trigger warnings. And I'll be honest with you, this was a part that gave me severe anxiety to read.
Yeah. Yeah. The blood rite is intense. Like in capital letters. And
Hmm.
more than that, I think this book, specifically this one, just because it's Nesta and her friends are dealing with so much trauma, and not only them,
Hmm.
Cassian and Asriel too, and we get a lot of that in this book. They definitely should have trigger warnings, because the blood rite, the way that Emerie, no, Gwyneth goes through everything, is just not healthy to read for some people.
Hmm. Yeah, it was. I think I read through it very, very quickly. So, like, I didn't give myself time to, like, dwell on it. But it
Mm-hmm.
could have been, and I'm not the kind of person who gets offended or upset by books or things like that usually, but I do remember like reading through this, and I could not put the book down when I realized, oh shit, like Gwen is by herself. I couldn't put it down to like do any, I wouldn't even go to the bathroom until I knew that she was safe, because I was like, she can't,
Yeah,
if the longer I take to read this book, it was almost like if I didn't, like if I stopped, then it would give them more time to
it's
hurt her. And I
real.
was
It's like
like,
you feel like it's so real. Yeah, for
yeah,
reals is
yeah,
it's definitely Sergeant Mass. Not only on this one, like if we talk about the first one, Fira on Under the Mountain, that book should definitely have trigger warnings
yeah, for
because
sure.
she goes through shit, literal shit. So yes.
Yeah. So, I
So
mean,
going back.
once they're together, though, once they're all together and they have slain thine enemies, uh, more than
Yes.
once, they start working together to secure food and shelter and weapons. They start working their way to the mountain, and then they start realizing that like Bellius, he's got like a band of dudes with him, and they're not far behind. So they're like trying to keep up.
The blood right, it's because I don't know
Yeah.
what she took or what she went through to write this, specifically the blood right, but
Hmm.
wow. Because she had to get inspired by something. Maybe she read something, maybe I don't know. But wow, because the fact that you are there a week without basically food, you have to fend for yourself. And more than that, you cannot sleep. They were
Yeah.
without sleep, like actual sleep for a week. Because
Yeah.
how can you sleep when you have monsters, when you have men, and you're only
Yeah.
the like it's insane. It's really
Yeah.
intense. So I don't know
It
what she
kind of
took. I don't know what she read, but wow.
it kind of gave me Hunger Games vibes.
Yeah,
Like when they're
no doubt.
in the like, but because with that one it's the same thing. They're just like they're dumped in there and then there's a box with some weapons and it's like have fun, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, so then they're like they're getting to the spot where they're like they're getting closer to the mountain. They've been out there for a few days, and there's a bridge that's going over this crevasse ravine thing, right?
hmm,
And it's like a rope bridge, and they see like across the field, they're kind of coming at it like this, right? Like diagonally. And then across the way, they see Bellius and his dudes also headed for the rope bridge. And they know whoever
yeah.
gets there first is going to chop that bridge down and make it to where nobody else can cross it. And then there's no way you're going to make it to the top because you don't have the time. Um, so they're going this way because it's also the way that Rhys, as in Cass, got to the top of the mountain Remiel. And it's the shortest, but it is the most physically taxing. And
Yeah,
as they were running, one of Bellius's guys, I don't remember if it was him or one of his guys, shoots an arrow and it hits Gwyneth in the leg. Um, so Gwyn's leg's fucked. Gwyn's down for the count. And so
yeah,
Nesta's like, I'm not leaving you. And Gwyn's like, you gotta leave me, right? Like I'm done for.
yeah,
And Nesta's like, fuck that. And she picks Emerie up, or God damn it, she picks Gwyn up and starts carrying her.
yeah,
And they, at the very last second, like they are on this bridge, and then Nesta's yelling at Emerie to cut the rope to, cut the bridge down, and they get across and the guys are stuck on the other side, and these ladies are like, fuck you, and they just start running away, right? But they're starting to go up the mountain, and Gwyn, though tiny, petite, and sweet, is still a whole ass fae.
person.
Is a whole
Yeah,
ass person. She's got to weigh minimum, even if she's like itty bitty, like my smallest friend that I have, even if she's like 95 pounds, that's still a
it's
lot of weight to carry up
of
a
course. And
mountain.
we're talking about Nesta and Emerie, women that of course they have been working out and doing things, but they're not eating for a whole like what 4 days already, 5 days, and they're
Oh, they're
fucking
on the
tired.
last day.
Oh, imagine. So 6 days, they're fucking
Hmm.
tired. They haven't been eating well, sleeping well, drinking water well. So it's like, nah, I understand.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're like, we're not leaving you. But they also know that Emery's cousin is not far behind.
Hmm.
And they aren't just trying to get to the top of that mountain. They have their sights set on murdering Emerie so what's his fuck can get his stupid shop. The dumbest shit
Yeah.
I've heard in my whole life.
one thing that we didn't mention is when you get to the top of Ramiel, the mountain, that's the name,
Mhm.
you automatically get transported to any place that you want, I think it is.
Yeah, I can't remember if it's like back home or like just back to the home base kind of area,
Yeah,
but you're automatically healed too.
exactly. So we need to have that in mind because they want to get there so they can get the fuck out too. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, and because Gwyn's gonna die with these injuries. It's getting infected. She's not doing well.
Yeah.
She can't even stay conscious most of the time by the time they get to this part of the book. So they're getting there, and there's this pass of an alias, which is this historical pass on Mount Remiel from this war that happened super duper long ago that the Valkyrie also fought in. And
Mm-hmm.
this guy, an alias, held the pass. It was basically like a bottleneck, right? So it was him against a whole army, and he held this pass and just slayed his enemies down one by one as they came through this
Slay your enemies. Yeah.
yeah, as they came through this bottleneck spot. And he ended up dying in the end, but it was because of him that they were able to I can't remember exactly what happened, but like he saved a bunch of people by sacrificing himself this way. And Nesta's like, well, there's no way that we're gonna make it, all
The
three
three
of
of
us,
us.
if we
Yeah.
don't slow them down. So Nesta's exhausted because she's been carrying Gwyn, and she stops and she goes, all right, Emerie, can you carry her with your wings? Because your wings are in the way. And Emerie's like, I'll make it work, right? So they start tying Gwyn to Emerie's back like a backpack. I did make a small joke. It's like the worst Shibari I've ever seen.
Stop. Oh my god, we are always kinky 24/7. But yes, it was
I'm sorry.
terrible, honestly. But she made it work
Least
though.
fun.
Ish.
Yeah. Yeah. So and Emerie's uncomfortable because her wings are like, you know, tied
Yeah.
up, right? But Nessa's like, you need to do this shit, okay? Like, please, like, you have to do this. I will hold the line for you.
Nesta's like,
And
get your shit together. You have to do this.
listen. Yeah. So it's great because Nesta's just like, if I can give my life protecting
Yeah.
you and giving you an edge so you can even have a chance of getting to the top, I would 100% do it in a heartbeat. And that's what I'm doing right now. And you guys are going to go. Just go.
There's no
So
discussion
they,
about this. And I love it because at the end, I feel like very deep. She's like, and I don't want fucking men to win. So you have
yeah.
to go and win this.
Yeah. Well, and I think there was a part where Gwyn was like, "No, you need to leave me. You leave me here and you two go up. Like I'm already dead anyway."
Mm-hmm.
And so Nesta like knocks her out.
I think
She's
so.
like,
Yeah.
yeah. She's like, "Fuck off, Gwyn. I'm the, I'm the savior here." Plus, like
Love
what's
it.
Gwyn going to do to stop these dudes? She can't slow them down. She can
They're
barely
gonna
stay awake.
freaking
She's sick.
exactly just kill her and just put her on, or maybe not even. They're gonna let her there to suffer.
Yeah. Yeah, after having
Like,
their way with her. Like, of course they
you
would,
think so? Because that takes time, though.
I mean, I'm sure Bellius would let some of them go and he would just keep going.
Yeah.
This is my favorite part of all of the books.
Yeah.
So she pulls out a sword. She
A
draws a
sword,
line in the
which
dirt.
not the
A
ones that
sword.
she made. Other
Not a
ones.
magic sword. A
No.
regular, non-magic, still deadly sword. And
Yeah.
she draws a line in the dirt and she can hear them coming. And she starts saying to herself, like she starts doing her breathing techniques, her Valkyrian breathing techniques, her mind stilling, and she just starts saying over and over again, I am the rock against which the surf crashes. Nothing can break me. So that's happening. I'm not crying right now. So and
Yeah,
these
and she
men
says it
start
like
coming.
over and over and over. It was like
a
that moment.
mantra.
We talked about it before in the previous episode, but this is like a mantra that like centers her so much. Like you can be in the middle of Times Square and you say that you're gonna come to you really fast.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
think that she needed that strength that she didn't know she didn't think she had because she's been so tired, carrying this person,
Yeah.
fighting for 6 days. It was a really powerful, magical moment.
It was beautiful. And then it was violent because they start coming. The men
Yeah.
start coming. And she's just swinging that sword, right? And she's stabbing and she's slicing and she's doing the perfect footwork. She is killing it just like she did in training. And the whole time she's not shit talking them. She's not screaming. She is the whole time, I am the rock against which the
Yeah.
surf crashes. Slice, stab, like, and
And
she
at the
just
same
keeps
time,
saying
she's
it.
always looking up to see how the girlies are doing.
And at
Because
some point, yeah, and at some point, she's exhausted, right? And it's raining, and it's fucking raining, and it's muddy, and it's slippery, and she's starting to fail because she's exhausted. And she sees it's dark now. She sees the light from the top. And I can't remember if there's like a sound or like a boom or something, but basically it's like, oh, the blood rite is over. They've made it. They made it to the top.
did it. The girlies did it.
And it doesn't stop. Like they're all supposed to be transported out of there. And it doesn't stop. And then Bellius is there. And he, the coward, the motherfucking coward, waited.
Because Nesta thought that it was going to be like, okay, once they get there, we are out of here. It's fine. We did it. No. She I think her sword was like on the floor and she's like, okay. And then she's like, oh my God, nothing is happening. And then she has to fight again. So
Bellius had waited and let all of his men go ahead of him to tire her out. And we know that if he had gone head to head with Nesta, with her at her full rest and strength, done. It wouldn't have even been a fight. Listen,
please.
Nesta would have ate you up and spit you out without even trying. Bellius starts fighting her, and he's shit talking her, right? He's just like, you dumb bitch, you had no idea. I can't believe you didn't even realize this. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? And she's tired, and he knocks her sword out of her hand. And then she's just like, all right, hand-to-hand combat me. And he's like, I'm sorry, you think that you could beat me in hand-to-hand combat? And do you know what she says? My mate taught me well. So listen.
Historic moment, that one right there. Because you are so into the fighting, into the violence, into, oh my gosh, she's gonna die or what. When that happens, you're like, okay, pause. Oh my gosh. It's pure. It's pure.
She's
it's pure magic. It. Yeah, it was beautiful.
Yeah, she just accepts it finally. She's kicking the shit out of this dude. She's winning, right? And all of a sudden, there's like a whirlwind, I don't remember exactly how she got there, but basically, Briallyn just winnows there with Cassian. And so begins the typical villain monologue where they're just like, I don't know, I feel like villains would be a lot more successful in fairy tales if they would stop talking and just like murder the person.
I was literally thinking about that 10 seconds ago. I was thinking, these stupid men, oh shit, sorry. I was thinking, these stupid villains, these stupid men, like the cousin. I'm like, dude, just shut the fuck up and fight. Don't talk.
Yeah, it's the shit talking for me. It's like what in every movie, every book, every TV show when the villain is like, haha, how you perfectly fell into my trap. Let me tell you exactly how amazing I am. Amarantha did it. Okay. Hybern, I'm pretty sure, did it at one point. Now Briallyn's gonna do it, and you're just like, can you just shut the fuck up? Just shut the fuck up.
Just be an actual villain and kill the people. That's it. That's all we need. Yes. That's all we want.
Listen, you know who doesn't waste their time explaining how they're so smart and they just kill the person? Zayd Meadows.
You just literally ate that.
So just be more like Zayd Meadows.
That is so true. Sid sees you, boom, that's it. You're dead.
Yeah. He doesn't need to explain himself to you. You're already dead in his eyes. Anyway.
Yeah.
So Briallyn explains her whole, this was my master plan, right? She arranged for Nesta to enter the blood rite. She's demanding the trove in exchange for Cassian's life. Cassian is under Briallyn's control. He's looking at Nesta. He has his mental faculties, but physically he cannot control himself. He's like telling her like, no, don't give it to her. Don't give it to her. And Nesta's like, and thank God, because how often is somebody in this situation where they're like, don't give the bad guy the thing they need to create their master plan just for my life. And they're like, I'm going to give it to you anyway because I love you. And Cassian's like, don't do it. And Nesta's like, nah, I'm not going to do it. Like, fuck yeah, Nesta. Briallyn's pissed. And she just looks at Cassian and she goes, kill. And Cassian, having become a king of wordplay, I guess. I mean, he realized that the way Nesta said her bargain was just he had to stay there for the night. She didn't say that he couldn't go stand next to her until she agreed to talk to him, right? He was like, oh, I know how I can finagle this. She didn't say who I had to kill. So he stabs himself. And Nesta's,
the day you stab yourself for me, we can talk.
You can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want.
Wow.
Put a baby in me. I don't even want more kids. You can have it. Go for it.
Definitely not, but yes. Go ahead.
So he stabs himself. Nesta is fucking pissed and she explodes in a just like a straight up nuclear explosion, just silver flames everywhere. And Briallyn straight up just disintegrates. And it almost completely destroys just so fast, like that. And even the crown is super destroyed. Loved it. Nesta runs over to Cassian. He's not dead. He's just wounded because he's a warrior. He knows where to stab himself in order to not, murder. And they're like about to have this like big moment. And Nesta deserves this fucking moment, for the record. Okay. She deserves this moment.
She needed this moment. She deserved it.
Feyre definitely deserved time, but she got time. After everything was over with being under the mountain, there was calm. She was Faye. They were like, let's just go to sleep. Let's just relax. And we'll leave in the morning. Let's give you some time. And then she had a moment to fucking breathe, right? There was a whole last 30 pages of A Court of Thorns and Roses where it was post Under the Mountain, post Amarantha, where Feyre just was able to fucking breathe, and we were focused on how fucking badass Feyre was. As a reader, I wanted to be able to have a moment to celebrate fucking Nesta and Emerie and Gwyn. I wanted to be able to celebrate how fucking badass they were. I wanted all of the inner circle to stop and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
You killed the big bad human Queen Briallyn. You're amazing. You're stronger than we thought you were. We're sorry she deserved this moment.
You brought back all of the things that we freaking lost.
We don't even get to the middle. Like, it's been 30 seconds and Mor and Asriel show up and they're like, hey, something happened with Feyre.
By this moment, for me, when I was reading the book, I didn't even care about Feyre.
Yeah. She doesn't get a hero's welcome at all.
No.
And that's because Feyre decided to get knocked up last book. And now she's suffering the consequences of trying to have sex while shapeshifting. This sounds like a you problem, Feyre. That's a lie. Listen, I love Feyre. I do.
It is still a you problem, Feyre.
Yeah. So Feyre's going to die, right? Feyre's going to die. And everyone's when Feyre dies, that also means the baby's going to die. And that also means Rhys is going to die, which means there's no fucking High Lord.
You remember moment when they made a bargain and said, if I die, you die. If you die, I die?
Well, if it isn't the consequences of your own actions.
I'm telling you, I don't fight. I don't know how to fight. I will die in a fight, but I will fight them.
This is so frustrating because they refused to help Nesta. They were like, oh, we're going to help her by giving her space and ignoring her and not providing her anything, not giving her any grace, not telling her, hey, we know that you are lashing out because you're hurt. We're here for you. And that's okay. If you need to be angry, that's fine. Be angry at me. Somebody who loves someone would say that. I have said that to people I love before. I have had people say that to me before.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't provide any of that for her. And now they're all up shit creek without a paddle. And it is expected of Nesta to save the day. I don't even know if because I don't even think they think that she can do it. But at the same time, it's like Nesta at least feels this responsibility, right? So Nesta grabs the dread trove. She grabs the harp, what's left of the crown, and the mask, right? She puts it on. She's begging the harp to say, like, how do I help Feyre? How? And it's like, pluck this string, right? And then she has this conversation with the cauldron. And right when Nesta has healed, right when Nesta has undergone this intense blood rite, and she has proved herself worthy, she has transformed into a completely different person. When she's just
evolved.
Yeah, she's evolved, and she's just now starting to understand the depth of her power. She could hone it. She could become so great. I'll never forgive Sarah for this, Sarah J. Maas. She bargains it away with the cauldron and says, I will give you your power back if you save my sister and the baby. Like, why would you do my girl dirty like that?
I just don't understand what her problem with Nesta, with her character, like Nesta's character, is. Because as an author, I think that you can love and hate, same as us, the characters that you are writing about. I get it. But you knew since the beginning that this was going to be books about the three sisters. Like, you know who don't need powers? Elaine. She doesn't need any powers unless she's going to be a villain. She doesn't need powers. She is a new person. She evolved to be this amazing freaking woman that has found a mate, that is so proud of her progress and everything. What was the TikTok sound? You did this for what?
It feels unfair to Nesta that she did all this work to become such an integral character and to bring a complexity and depth to the inner circle that didn't exist before, because there was no power struggle. Rhys was Rhys and he was in charge, and it was just whatever. And Nesta could have been, and I'm still hoping that maybe it's not all gone, but maybe if we're lucky, what happened was that the cauldron just took back the part, like the one last bit that she needed in order to heal completely. And I'm hoping she still has a depth of power within her. But the way it was written makes me feel like perhaps she's just kind of normal again.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I would cope with that. I don't know how I would cope with having that taken away from me. I know it wasn't against her will. I know she offered it up in the bargain.
Yeah.
But to offer it up in the bargain because it's either that or everyone who rules this court dies and then everyone is left without protection, you don't really have a choice.
To me, what I'm saying, what I said before, it's to me, like that's how I feel. If we put this on Nesta, and honestly, only thinking about Nesta, I think she's happy that she doesn't have them anymore, just because she never wanted them. She is now an equal with Cassian and to Cassian. So they're like actual, equals as partners, because Feyre and Rhys, okay, they're very powerful and they're equals in that way. And then you have them and they're equals because now Nesta doesn't have these powers, right?
Okay.
I guess she's happy. I don't think she will have a problem with that. The problem is, to me, with me and with Sarah J. Maas, because I don't think that was necessary. I don't think Cassian will be the type of man that will be, you're more powerful than me, and that is a problem at all.
Yeah. I mean, we know that Cassian is like 7 feet tall, but he's 100% one of those guys that would not be threatened if his girlfriend was taller than him and wore high heels.
Oh,
like,
exactly.
He's not threatened. Like, he's a little bit turned on by how scary and powerful she is. His thought is like, oh, she could hurt me. like, he's into it a little bit.
I love it because it's true.
Right. And so, you're right though, because Feyre got all of the, like, a little bit of power from each High Lord, which made her as powerful as Rhys. And so they're matched. And with Feyre, or with Nesta being a strong warrior, still Fae, but and capable of fighting and things like that, but not having this cauldron made power, does make her more equal power wise to Cassian. And I think that makes sense. I still wish for me as the reader that it would have been different, but yeah, good for Feyre.
Yeah.
Or no, good for Nesta. Sorry.
And more than that, again, she never wanted these powers. She's Fae, she's gonna live forever with her mate. Amazing. We hope that he doesn't fucking dies in any of the books. Yeah. Because Nesta had enough. Honestly, Nesta had enough. But I think that she never wanted the death power. She never wanted the silver flames. She never wanted the feeling of not the feeling, the responsibility of having powers. Because if you have powers, you have responsibilities. And I don't think she ever wanted that. So I'm happy for her in that sense. But we have to wait for the next books to see what the heck. Because till this day, until the day I die, I will not be happy to the fact that Sergeant Maas took her powers, because that doesn't make any sense, at least for her character at all.
Nesta didn't take those powers because she wanted powers from the cauldron. She took it out of anger. And I think she had to let go of the powers in order to let go of the anger.
Yeah, now that we're talking about it.
Sarah J. Maas, I forgive you.
No, I don't. Now that we're talking about it, I understand it from Nesta's side. But for me, no, not yet.
As a reader, I wanted more badass Nesta.
Of course. Same as we wanted with Feyre. Oh my god, what is she doing?
Maybe it's like the sisters in Charmed, where they're stronger together, and when they all stop getting their shit fucked and they just come together and they work together, they become like the ultimate 3 badass sisters.
Okay, I love it. It's giving to, what's the name? Practical Magic. So yes.
Ooh, love that. Nesta, she changed her sister Feyre's anatomy and her own, which is basically just like, hey Cass, you could totally put a winged baby in me if you wanted to.
And honestly, and this is weird because I don't feel this with a lot of books, but honestly, I want Feyre, I want Nesta and Cassian to have a baby so bad, because she deserves to give that love, that lots of love that she has to a baby, to her baby.
She'll have the opportunity to break that generational trauma that existed from her grandmother to her mother to her.
Yes.
She has the opportunity to do better for her child, and I'm really excited to see that.
And you know that Cassian is going to be best daddy ever.
Oh my god, and he was already talking in the book earlier about how he wants to be a dad someday, which adorable.
I know.
So,
but yes, Nesta saves the world, basically.
And everyone.
Yeah. Do we think that Feyre has to be more careful? Heck, fucking yes. Because Feyre, you're fucking dumb.
She's, you know what? Can we remember? She's 21. I remember being 21. I was a fucking idiot. I mean, like, listen, Feyre, let's be real. Let's look at the track record here. If anything could have ever gone wrong in your life, it did go wrong in your life. So let's just go ahead and assume the worst so that we can prepare.
And then when that happens, Rhys is like, oh my god, I owe you my life. You're the best thing that happened to me. And honestly, I hated that so much.
Oh, really?
I didn't like it. To me, it was like, you were this whole fucking asshole, the whole book, to this one person for this one problem that you created. And then she's the one that saves your wife and your baby. And now you can see how you can be grateful.
Yeah, it's like his love and gratitude and appreciation and respect is transactional. You only get it if you can do something for him. He wouldn't give Nesta any kind of respect because he didn't know for sure if she would use her powers for him or against him.
But listen now, Rhys, who could not stop buying her presents, dresses and jewels and throw pillows and all manner of nonsense, had rained down on her until Nesta had to order him to stop. Rhysand, the way I don't respect you anymore, I can't.
Dude, do you think he wants to fuck Nesta?
He's giving sugar daddy behavior.
Yeah.
But that happens. Everyone is happy-ish. They have sex, I think. No, they don't.
No. I mean, I'm sure they do. We don't get to see it.
Yeah. And honestly,
So.
that's okay. That's okay.
That's
I
okay.
didn't expect. Yeah, I wanted Nesta just to be happy at this point. I just wanted her to have a little house with her little mate or massive mate and just be happy.
She gets her little house of wind. Rhys is like, yeah, you can have it. Nobody really likes going in there anyway. And Nesta's like, great, it's my best friend now, so I'd like to stay there.
Imagine, like, say, like Nesta's gonna be like, okay, so house, I'm going out for a minute. I'm gonna have to buy some things. Take care of the baby. I love it.
The house
I
do a
love
great job too.
Amazing job.
It reminds me of the house from Encanto.
Yeah.
Nesta and Cassian confess their undying love for one another. They are talking about like, oh, we don't have to do a big mating ceremony. Like they admit that they're mates. We don't, you can just give me a cracker or whatever. And Nesta's like, no, fuck it. We're doing a big old party. Hanging on the wall in the grand entry, a portrait of Nesta holding the line at the pass of Annelius. Because remember when Nesta went over the first time, there wasn't a picture of Nesta on the wall. There was a picture of everybody else, but no Nesta. And so Feyre's like, happy mating gift. You've made it on the wall.
I'm telling you, the more we read into it, the worse it gets. Oh my God. Bonus chapter. We get a sneak peek of what is going to happen on the next book. And what we thought it was going to happen, basically. Asriel and Elaine, they're kind of like feeling things.
Yeah, we get an Asriel POV.
Yes, we do.
We get into Sad Boy's thoughts.
Basically, things happen, and finally, Elaine is like, I want you to want me. I want you to kiss me. I want this to happen. And
you to want me.
He kind of was like,
they were about to.
Yes. Yeah. He was about
they were
to
like,
do the thing. The thing meaning a kiss, probably, because
Elaine's still too demure. It would have just been like he goes to give her the gift, but she comes up to kiss him, and Rhys interrupts them.
And Rhysand gets all High Lord, and honestly, this is the only moment in the whole books that I'm like, yes, step the fuck up. Because these two people are not supposed to be together. In my mind, they're not supposed to be together. Honestly. And this is something that I will stand for forever. I don't think Elaine and Asriel should be together. I don't think it should be three bad boys, three sisters. I don't think that's the way to go. It's super predictable. And one thing I hate about books is them being predictable. I fucking hate that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Elaine should end up with Lucien till this day, or Lucien could die. Please don't kill him, Sargenas. And the fact that we get a little bit of Asriel Gwyneth action at the end of that chapter, I'm like, that's the way to go. And the fact that he saved her from being like while she was being raped, I think that's chef kiss.
Yeah, that's beautiful. There's so many people who simp for Asriel, right? And I never really got it. And I don't know if that's because I was never into emo or goth boys growing up. No hate to them, but it's just not my vibe. And then we read this chapter, and I could not get over how pissed off I was at Asriel, because Rhys is telling him like, no, fuck off, like leave him alone, leave Elaine alone, which right now I kind of want to tell Rhys to fuck off, like stay out of it, it's none of your fucking business.
Yeah.
But also, yes, because
I think we need to talk about the fact that Rhysand doesn't want them together because she is Lucian's maid, and he doesn't want that conflict to be there in the middle of everything that's happening, right?
Yeah, well, because right now things are very trepidatious with Lucien and Vassa and
Jurian.
Yeah, things are really iffy and touchy right there, and I think it could cause conflict if there's an issue with it, which makes sense as a High Lord, yes. But him just being like, no, never, instead of just like, I need you to fucking cool it right now, I don't know. It seemed a bit authoritative, and I guess I'm just annoyed with Rhys. But the thing that got me was that Azrael made the comment something about like, "Oh, so you and Cassian get a sister, why don't I get one?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm
Yes,
sorry.
he
Are we
does.
just fucking property to you? Fuck off, all the way off."
Yes, he
He said
does.
that, and it gave me the ick. That's what it was. Like that thing that people talk about, like if there's a thing that somebody does that's seemingly
Yeah.
innocuous and it ruins it, it ruined it for me. The second he was like, "Oh, I don't get a sister."
I
Fuck all the way
totally
off.
get it, because that comment really, like, all the way rubbed me the wrong way. It was weird. It was like, I guess that I understand that you are mad and that you want something, or at least you think you want it because you see Cassian and you see Rizan, but maybe that's not
Mhm.
it for you. And the fact that you think that she's a prize, that's not that's a lot of Illyrian men in you, and we don't want that. We don't
Mhm.
want that.
Yeah, it was very women are property, women are a thing,
Yeah.
and not she's a whole fucking person who can choose who she ends up with, and
Hmm.
you don't get her just because your two friends got her sisters. That's not how this works.
And the gift that he was going to give Elaine, he didn't give it to her.
He shows up to the training ring, and she's up there in the middle of the night training, and she's like, "I'm so sorry, I didn't think anybody would be here." And he
Hmm.
was like, "Oh, I just forgot something, that's why I'm here." And she's like, at 2 a.m, and then they start kind of flirting a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're doing this thing wrong, let me just help you. You're supposed to, do this with the sword or whatever." And
Hmm.
she says, "I was trying to cut the ribbon." She said, "Happy solstice," and he's like, "Are you kicking me out?" And she's like, "No, no, I don't mind sharing. I thought you wanted to be alone." and
Yeah.
then they started flirting and everything.
He sees her, they talk for a little bit, we get like a little chispa, like something was cooking up in the, and we love it because you can't get enough of us. Follow us on social media as at Come With Us Pod. Everywhere we're like that.
Mhm.
Follow us over there. Thank you so much, sinners. We cannot believe that we finished these 5 books and a few other books during this whole
Yeah,
season. Wow.
yeah.
We're going to have the last episode next week for the season. And I am so proud of us. We did it. We got here. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has listened and everyone that has picked up the books again or for the first time. Thank you so much. You guys are the freaking best. Sinners, we see you. We love you. We're here for you.
Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to us on whatever your preferred podcasting platform is. And be sure to check us out on YouTube as well and subscribe to us there. And if you could leave us like a 5-star review, that would really help us. And don't forget to tell your friends about us, because the more people who listen, the more people we get to talk to about things that we love the most. So yeah, please do. You guys, sinners, dears, lovelies, you've been good little angels for us for this whole series. And we want to say thank you for listening. Remember to stay wicked, stay wild, and keep reading. Bye.
Bye.